Let's get ready to rumble!
Barkley, 24, yes!
Champs are here.
Book on the crossover, gets inside and hammers it down. Suns, Booker for the win. Yes! Richardson, the head, look out. Hello. Booker, this is for the win.
Welcome, everybody, to the Valley Podcast on a great Monday night. Feels like a weekend, Coach, as we get a win that it did not feel like we were going to get, but everything ended up rolling our way towards the end. It was not rolling our way in the third. Coach, talk to me about this game, man. Is this the best win of the season? I feel like we stole one.
Man, I don't even know how we won that game. At no point in the game did I ever feel comfortable or confident we were going to win. Fourth quarter, we got up a little bit towards the end and give up a three and blew it. Well, where were we up? 5 or 6 in overtime, and DiVincenzo and Connaughton both hit threes, and that was that. Giannis was out too, so I was really pissed at that point. And they just got it done. They got it done. It doesn't matter how they did. And everybody's going to be crying that Giannis didn't play in the overtime with cramps or whatever it was. And then they're going to talk about that shouldn't have been a foul at the end. Well, look at the foul discrepancy. I just had it up. It was free throws. We had 10 free throws and they had 19. So that right there is free throw karma.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we're going to have to talk about. I do want to give a special shout out to Saltiest Gaming, Saltiest AZ fan guys, our boy Salty. Just having a hiccup, I guess. The doctors want to take another look at him and keep him under observation, but Salty, we love you, bro. I'm so glad the Suns won because I don't know if your heart could have taken a loss. But, Coach,
cheers to Salty, by the way.
Absolutely, man. It didn't feel at any point in time like that was going to be a win, did it? I mean,
never.
You got this bad taste in your mouth from the last game being so embarrassing versus the Spurs. And then you're going up against this team where the refs, they were just trying everything they could throughout the whole game to help the Bucks, to help Cream City, if you will. Whatever that means, all right? Whatever that means. The refs really tried to help him out tonight, and I can't believe it fell our way.
It 100% tonight proves that the refs indeed have a deep state, and they have a way that they want to ref their own games, and they have, we've even gone through the New York Knicks 1985 draft, right? The NBA deep state. There's a way that they're going to ref it to let certain teams win, and tonight was full example of that. Case in point. 2.5 seconds left in the game in the fourth quarter. And what happens when there's no possession? They get a timeout. Could you imagine if a Suns team in the playoffs let that happen? Like, if we would have gotten a timeout on the Kobe air ball that Ron Artest got and laid it up? Oh, no, we're going to call a timeout right now. We don't have possession, but it's going to be our ball. Unreal. NBA deep state, man. Tonight proved it.
Man. So let's try to keep the good vibes going. Let's talk positives before we get into the negatives.
And it didn't matter, right? And it didn't matter.
It didn't.
And it didn't matter. The basketball gods.
Let's talk DeAndre Ayton. Before we do, special shout out to DA. Man, we really hope that your shoulder is okay. I hope that it was just a stinger because you were everything tonight. Everything. We literally are going to him we're going to him for offense in the clutch, and he's shutting down Giannis. Look, Giannis had plenty of points, right? But it was on a lot of shots.
Man,
I mean, I've never seen, and I know Salty tweeted this, I've never seen anyone D up Giannis the way that DA does.
and he did that 3 or 4 or 5 different possessions. Now Giannis got his. Let's make no mistake about it. But dude, the Greek Freak is a cheat sheet himself. You know, he's a 2-time defending MVP for a reason. But DA on 3 or 4 possessions, maybe even 4 or 5, he just stood him up, or Giannis tripped, or he threw it away in like the worst fashion you could.
He made his attempts at the bucket so difficult that some of them fell out.
Yeah. And his falling over like 3 or 4 times, dude. He made him stumble when DA was just not doing anything. And then when he got to the block and he tried to turn around and pivot a few times, DA's just right there.
Just right there.
He couldn't shoot over him, couldn't do nothing.
The old DeAndre would have gotten a foul trouble, right?
Oh,
this
absolutely.
DA was just right there with him step for step.
I mean,
it gives me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps thinking about him having to D up AD in the playoffs. If you can do this versus the Greek Freak, why can't you do it against AD?
Because AD has a way better jumper and way more types of moves to do. I mean, that's why AD is a different animal. I personally would take AD over Giannis just because of the way he can stretch the floor. I mean, you have to respect AD and his 3-point shot taking ability, right? You have to respect that, which makes you go out on him. Whereas,
true. He does have
Ayton was off him the whole game and said, come to me. And that's how we guarded him. So different animal, different style of play. I'm sure they'll defend it better. But against those types of players, you like where this is going, right?
I love it. This was exactly what we needed. I don't know that we needed it to go down to the wire like this, but we needed this win to keep our pace and to keep our identity as a team that does not lose back-to-back games.
Keep in mind, I just looked it up. DeAndre had 5 fouls the last time we played them, and he only played 30 minutes. I thought he was in foul trouble, and I was right. And look what happened when he's able to play. And he learned from it. He definitely 100% learned from it, like you said.
Yeah. So Beef in the chat says DA had heart, but CP3 carried this one.
Yeah.
CP3 was everything tonight. Everything. Booker, give him his due. He came through when it mattered the most. That bank shot was Kobe-esque. Completely Kobe-esque. It was like a dart off the backboard and dropped straight in. That was a great shot. Everything else from Booker tonight was dumpster juice.
Hey, he hit an open 3 finally.
He did hit an open 3. Outside of that, man, I don't know what's going on in his relationship with Kendall or what's going on, bro, but he's just not been right lately. And this game, it should make us feel okay, right? This game was super close and super scary, and Book had a terrible game. Honest to God, he had a terrible game.
9 of
Imagine
24.
if Book was feeling himself. We could have really beat these guys.
When your substitute all-star doesn't show up to games, that's what happens.
Stop calling him a substitute all-star.
Come on.
Stop calling him a substitute all-star.
Says the guy who's like, oh, what's going to happen if he misses these 2 free throw shots at the end of the game?
That was just a joke.
Oh.
I didn't think it was actually going to happen. That was just a joke. I'm like,
oh
what
my
if?
God.
But, that's like a Marvel what-if movie scenario. It's never going to happen.
No, but you clearly saw it when Devin Booker's game is on and when he's off. And when he's off, we look like a completely different team. And when he's on, we look like a completely different team. It's the NBA, man. Your star's got to carry you. And he's been at this for, 4 or 5 games now?
Keeping the good vibes going. Mikal Bridges was clutch tonight. As soon as the ball left his hand, you could tell it was going in. He hit at least 3 really important threes, man. Now,
and at the end of the game,
Bridges' Law did not do its thing tonight. It's not 100%. But yeah, great game, man. I'm trying to stay positive here so we can just keep the vibes going. So,
well, I'm gonna bring the salt for Salty. Let's talk about Dario Saric. Have you seen a player regress this much this season than Dario? At least when Ayton was playing bad, there was things you could point to. I'm not seeing a damn thing. He can't catch the ball. His passing is off. He has no lift on his jumper. I was Dario Saric's like biggest backup vocal leader, and he's just screwing the pooch, man. Would you play Kaminsky over Saric right now?
Okay, last time I said this, and I was saying, yeah, take Dario out, put Frank in. What can it hurt? Last time I said that, Monty didn't do it, and Dario worked his way back into a lather, right? Like the question was, should he just let him play his way back into finding his game, getting out of the yips? And he did, but that only lasted for like 2 games. So I am back like Bernie Sanders once again, asking you to play Frank Kaminsky instead of Dario. Just give Frank some minutes. Give Frank 10 minutes. Give him 12. Like Dario
start with 6 to 8.
Okay, I could not figure out what Dario did to earn a starting job tonight. Why did he get a start? I know they talked about matchups. How did that work? Someone said it on Twitter perfectly. Dario is food. He's just like a burger to be chomped up by a shark out there, bro. He's just juicy. He's exactly the matchup you want guarding you. And he can't jump. I'm 6'3", 6'4". I'm pretty sure I can out-jump him, bro. I don't believe he can dunk. I don't believe it.
Where was his defense from last year, man? His defense in that bubble was ridiculous. He was undersized. His jumper is gone. His touch around the rim.
Salty, the worst or the biggest Frank the Tank hater says Frank the Tank needs to return into the lineup. That should tell you something.
But again, we talked about it quite a few podcasts ago. What's the coaching method he wants to go with? Is it what you said? He wants to work him through it, let him get his footing again. He'll get it. He's a pro, yada, yada. Or do you want to take away their confidence and keep switching players
yada, yada. Sorry, I'm feeling good about this win tonight, bro. I'm feeling good about this win.
That was a question I was asking you, so now I'm not going to repeat myself, and you got to answer it.
I really wanted to go to Burner's comment about Sticks. He says, "What about Sticks?" I heard Monty talking. I read a long article and heard him talk it all too. He's talking about Sticks, and you know what his plan is for Sticks? I tweeted this. I don't know if you saw it. His plan for Sticks. They're making Sticks learn a new position. That position is called Athletic Dario. I swear to God. They think of him as
super Dario.
They want him to be super Dario. They want him to play like Dario, and I don't think he's going to get minutes until he plays like Dario. The sense of 0.4, someone who's just more athletic and can actually jump over his own cell phone. Like
I think that's the wrong move, man.
Thank you, Coach. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
But that's what Monty's saying.
I understand you need to make adjustments, and maybe he's kind of a tweener, and they know that he's just not going to be like a big guy, right? He played center in college. He's not going to be a center here, right? That's just not going to happen. But to make him like a 0.4, a point forward, that's not his style at all. That's really tough to do. And when you're a young guy coming out, especially in the COVID season, you're learning a whole new position with no G League, no nothing. I think it's really going to set him back, and we could see the newest edition of the Earl Clark Club.
Don't Earl Clark him yet. Just for me, hold off. Don't Earl Clark him.
Oh, we'll see what he does in the summer league. Like he's got to show something in the summer league. It's going to be huge for him. But that's why you're not playing Sticks.
Yeah, Sticks. But the question, the reason why he brings that up is because Dario is playing so terribly. But I think the answer is more Kaminsky than Sticks.
Absolutely.
And no one likes Sticks more than me. But Sticks has been showing a nothing the last 5 times I've seen him. He looks terrible. I've had to just eat that L.
Suns fans, if y'all are on Twitter, people are calling us out tonight saying Drew Holiday completely locked up Booker and the NBA fouled him and blah, blah, blah. But nobody's going to say anything about that timeout at the end of the fourth quarter.
Okay, so Salty, I don't look 5'5" on camera. It's just a low chair. All right, I got to get an ergonomic setup. So you want to talk about this ending? Should we get to that? Do you have anything like on Twitter for me to pull up? Do you have like the highlight maybe? Like,
I'll find something, but not
if
right
you can
now.
find
Give me a second.
Okay, so let's talk about that last play because that's really the elephant in the room, right? The question is, did the referees step in and award the game to the Suns by calling a foul that technically wasn't a foul, or should they have let it slide because you don't end games that way? I don't know. All I know is that was a playoff style basketball game with playoff intensity, and that was a foul on Booker.
Yes.
Was it a hard foul? No. Was Booker bailed out? Completely bailed out. He in my opinion, he didn't even get the shot up in time. Like when you and I were watching it in real time, I go, "Oh my God," because what was I saying? Give the ball to CP3. Give the ball to CP3. Okay, he's not going to give it to CP3. Book does his hero ball, and in my opinion, doesn't even get the shot off in time. Because he's in a funk right now. And that's why I wanted CP3 making the decision at the end of the game. But he got fouled, bro. That's a foul. He
absolutely got fouled.
Don't foul him on the 3-point line if you don't want him going and shooting free throws. Sorry. Anybody in the chat, like, be honest. Be completely honest.
Monty just said in a post-game interview, Monty said he heard a slap on Book's arm for that last foul.
Spurs fan Gary says that. Spurs fan Gary says that call wouldn't be made in the playoffs. By the book, yes, it was a foul. Was it a weak foul? Absolutely. Hey, I mean, that's what I'm sitting here saying, Gary. I'm saying a foul is a foul. It is what it is. Like, I don't know that they don't call that in the playoffs, but I could see them swallowing their whistle. They swallowed their whistle on everything tonight. Salty, get out of the chat, bro. Your heart cannot take this game tonight.
Everybody wish Salty some good.
You shouldn't have been watching. Yeah, man. Seriously.
Everybody wish Salty some good vibes.
We love you, Salt. Drink some tea and go to sleep.
No more sodium for you.
Yeah, Salty. He says it was a bailout. I say it was a bailout too.
Sure, but it still is a foul. I don't know what it's still a foul, regardless.
You know, I can't be mad about it because I watched Jamal Murray take 7 consecutive step backs and hit a 3 in Ayton's face, and they gave it to him to end the game. So real foul, I'm not going to get mad about a real foul.
What about when Jay Crowder hit a 3 in the corner in the overtime
gets knocked to the ground
and nothing?
How do you think he got knocked to the ground?
19 free throws to 10, man. Like, that's karma.
These refs are just they're so used to helping these other teams, right? Because we are the new kids on the block. Like we have to still fight and claw for those calls, for everything, because the refs still have it in their head. Well, the Bucks are the bigger team. Well, the Bucks have been to the playoffs. They should win. The NBA wants the Bucks to win. You know they do. You think they want their precious Greek freak getting taken to task by DA all game? No. They want that. Greek freak gets to win. This is why we've been giving him unearned MVPs back-to-back to maybe back again. I don't know, man. I don't hate Greek freak. He's a great human being, but it just kind of bugs me when these other teams get this kind of preferential treatment. Like that throwing the ball to PJ Tucker and them getting a timeout during the pass. I've never seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm. And you're right.
Clearly a loose ball.
Clearly. But that Chris Middleton shot in overtime. guarded.
This is the
That
best.
was tough.
This is the best Chris Middleton I've ever seen. I always hear about how he's an all-star. He's a real all-star. And I felt like, yeah, you're an all-star because you're in the East. Why don't you come over to the West and play over here? And then we'll see how many all-stars you get.
Here's another quote. This is from Budenholzer.
He played like a superstar tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is from Budenholzer. The Bucks coach said for Giannis, it definitely was a cramp. As far as bringing him back late, Budenholzer said they just didn't think it made sense with his recent left knee issues.
Cost him the game, potentially.
Maybe. I don't know if we would be talking about Connaughton and DiVincenzo and Middleton hitting threes in overtime then. So maybe not having him, I don't know. Here, I'm gonna DM this to you, my dude, so you can have this. Here is a clear image, clear as day image of the foul. If they wouldn't called it, we would have been talking about this.
While you're pulling that up, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Sex Maxwell, dopest name. Iverson Vlogs are day one. Roy, same thing. Jason Joyce, Spurs fan Gary, Beef. Saltiest Gaming, our own GOAT. Aljoy Alfonso, Jason Robbins. He says the refs were doing the Suns dirty all game, and they finally give them one call, and people are mad. Shut up.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jason.
Exactly.
Thank you. That goes for you, Spurs fan Gary. You shut up talking about how they didn't want the Bucks to win. I'm not having it tonight. This is our night. All right, Pedro, what's up, man? Burner,
what's up, Pedro?
Our resident comedian. See, Michael Logan.
Did you hit up
Basketball
Elixity?
Football King, Elixity. Yeah, man.
Shervin, SF0.
You got it? Shervin, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I just sent it to you, and I sent it to Salt Dog, too.
Oh, you sent it to me on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to push
I'm on a different machine with this stupid-ass
That's okay.
webcam issue.
Oh, so this is just a picture.
This is just, yeah, but it's a clear as fucking day picture.
Okay. You tell me, Spurs fan Gary. Now, I know you're used to Spurs fouls, which are very clear, right? You run up like Bruce Bowen and jack somebody in the nuts while they're shooting a three. Foul call, right?
Step on their heel as you're going around a screen.
Yeah, Steve Nash is bringing up the ball. You hip check him like it's hockey. So this might not be a Spurs foul.
Love you, Gary.
But bear with us, okay? I hope this is it.
I got a short story on Gary in a second, too. Thank you, Jason Robbins. Yes. All right. Okay. So where's the non-call?
Yeah.
Please, somebody show me how this is not a foul. Can you zoom in? Is there actual space there? Do we see a little bit of white between them? No, there's nothing there. There's nothing. It's a foul. Eat me.
If you look at it real close, it's like one of them Jackson Pollock paintings. Man. So it was like an elbow high five, Beef goes clear elbow to elbow. Thanks, Beef.
So my
Suns win.
My Gary story real quick. So during quarantine, we started we have a new roommate. The roommate in our place is somebody that actually doesn't live here, but whenever something doesn't get done around the house, since we're working from home and doing all that now, we always blame our other roommate, and that person's name is Gary. So when the garbage doesn't get taken out, it's always fucking Gary. When somebody doesn't do the dishes, it's Gary again. When somebody eats all the leftover Jello or pudding, it's Gary.
I'm totally fine with that. We'll just blame everything on Gary.
So
one more time, if you need to see this, Gary. Elbow. Burner says Gary gonna say that pic was photoshopped.
This was before I started talking to Spurs fan Gary, so.
No, it still fits. Yeah, Pedro, thank you. Hit the like button, people. We appreciate every single one of you, man.
Man, where's Timothy? Has he been in here for a while? We've been missing Timothy. He used to come in with the hot takes, the perfect stats. Chris Paul's like 17-0 against whoever.
he's Chris Paul's biggest stalker.
Where is he?
He's in the chat. What's good, man? We see you. We appreciate you coming back out. Can we talk Giannis's 15-second free throws? Yeah, I don't know, man. He's making them. He's finally making his free throws. So I guess if he wants to take all the time, you get 10 seconds to shoot your free throws.
Once you get the ball, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I didn't notice it. Have you noticed it?
No, it didn't really. I mean, I really don't care. I think the 10-second thing is a little. I just don't really care about it. I don't really care if you go and you sit down and have a quick tea party before you shoot your free throw. Personally, I really don't give a shit.
So there was
like batters in the batting box that do their gloves.
Yeah,
I really don't care.
There was 2 turning points in this game, Coach. One turning point that I thought was going to be the turning point, and then there was the real turning point.
What do you mean?
Everything changed when Giannis picked up his third foul. As they're going to a timeout break,
wasn't that the challenge? They challenged that one, right?
Yes, they challenge it, and they come back. Oh, guess what? He doesn't get his third foul. That was the point. I swear, if you go back and rewatch this game, when they took over and they started getting the better of us for the rest of the game. And I thought, oh my God, like, is that really going to be what turned the tide? Is that really going to be what? No. What really, really was the turning point, I have it written down here at 7:52 left in the fourth quarter. Portis steps out of bounds and then hits that 3.
Oh, yeah. And you texted me right before that, and you were like, "It's looking like an L, my dude."
I know. I was ready
Booker's a no-show.
I really thought it was over. And then he accidentally steps out of bounds and hits that 3. Imagine if he didn't step out of bounds. That's another 3-point. And really, it started to turn back in our favor at that point again. We finally started making things happen. This was a crazy game, man. This is one of those NFL games. What's up?
Take it over for a second. There is a clip here on Locked On Bucks that's like a minute long. I'm going to listen to see if we need to bring it on. So take over for a second.
All right, man. So Blazers uprise. What's good, dude? I figure as Tori says, who's Giannis or Giannis? Man, I do not know how to say this dude's name. I think I can say his last name. No, I can't. I don't even know. I'll just say Greek Freak from now on. But seriously, Giannis, Giovanni Bernard. You get the idea. CP3 has passed Magic Johnson in assist. I didn't realize that. They didn't stop the game, if that's true. Iverson says that I jinxed the Bucks. How did that happen? I don't remember that. What's up, Coach? Coach looks like he's watching something unfortunate.
Okay, first off, the guy's Australian. I don't know, guys. I didn't see any contact there. You can look at the replay, but with 0.3 seconds left, how can you make that call? I didn't see any contact. Of course.
Didn't see any contact.
Hold on, I'm going to troll him too. Stand by.
Who is it?
His name is @KanePittman. KanePitman. You're going to see it on your timeline in a second pop up. I got to troll him with that click and paste. There you go.
Pedro, that's exactly when I said looks like he's watching something unfortunate. That's exactly the video I was thinking. That's hilarious.
What, the faces I was making?
Yeah. So Spurs fan Gary says NBA just released a statement that all the refs from tonight's game have been fired for violating the screw the Suns over code. The ref that actually called the foul will face life in prison. Well, that's fair.
Finally.
That's nice of them. That's only fair. People say Middleton is better than Booker. My thoughts. Coach, let me have you take that. What do you think about that? I think hell no.
I think the only reason he's really good is because he's playing off of Giannis. And if he was the star of a team, I don't think he'd be nearly as good as he is right now. Pippen without Jordan, right? Still damn good. Nowhere near what he is now. That's just in my opinion. You?
Yeah, I think the only reason why it's even a conversation I'm not fighting someone over is the fact that Book's been playing like trash lately. But still, we know what's what.
He did do other things tonight, though. How many passes did you see him intercept, in the backcourt? His on-ball defense was shoddy. His off-ball defense was shoddy, but
his off-ball was pretty good. Those picks, man. He had like three.
Those picks were great down the court, but in the half-court set, like I don't know how many times his dude got behind him on the baseline to go up for a layup. Man, that happened 2 or 3 times tonight. Chris Paul and Devin Booker again were just like fake flashing out to the 3-point line and not wanting to put an arm up, and that just drives me insane. But who am I to tell a $41 million player what he should do? But he did do a couple other things. I mean, he had 24 points, which is his average, and he had 7 boards and 7
But what did
assists.
he shoot? But what did he shoot, man?
He was 9 for 24.
I mean, that's another.
But he had 7.
That's
boards
another
and
Donovan
7
Mitchell
assists.
night.
Yes.
But that dagger at the end, that backboard dagger, that makes it all cool for me, bro. That was beautiful. And it came at the exact time we needed.
Yep. Crazy win, man.
I'm ready for you to heap praise on Campaign for keeping us in the game in the third quarter.
A guy that I thought was just about to be taken out of the lineup comes in and scores he scored 9 straight points.
Looking swaggy. 4
buckets total. Yeah, looking good while he did it. Then he had a heat check, and that's fine.
It rimmed out. It almost dropped. Mm-hmm. Book was right there open, and Cam was like, nah, thanks. You're going to get my master splinter left-handed 3, and it just rimmed out.
And hits another open 3 later in the game to keep it going. He was on one, man. I don't know if you guys can hear him going crazy in the back right now.
He's going crazy over the Suns win. No worries, bro.
He's playing.
One of the other plays of the game from a guy that didn't even get on the court tonight, Langston Galloway. I hope we can find a video of that. Mikal Bridges makes that unbelievable circus layup around the
no business making that shot.
I did not think all I was thinking was someone is going to have to tap this in. It drops. Langston runs over and picks him up and boosts his back. I didn't even know that was legal. I didn't even know that you're allowed, if you're on the bench, to get up off the bench and help one of your players get up and push him on.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Langston Galloway. Man, I wish he could get some minutes, but that's how important Galloway is, man. That's how
much he cares, too.
And he cares. That's the whole team is like that, man. That could have been any one of them. Yeah, bro.
Oh, I got to listen to this interview again. Take over.
Okay. So let's see here. Guys, what do you guys want to talk about in this win here? Assist of the game. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would put as assist of the game. There were some good ones. Chris Paul looked amazing tonight. Anybody notice that? I mean, he looked like he was hungry. Like he was just ready to score. His mid-ranges were dropping. His threes were dropping. He looked more selfish, and I mean selfish in a good way. And then is Chris Paul. Oh, Galloway. Pedro's saying Galloway had the assist of the game. Fair, bro. Totally fair. No, but CP3 was going hard, and I'm noticing that they're starting to treat DA like the third option, like a real third option. Like CP3's out of the game. DA, you're going to get some looks now because he's gone. Now, when CP3's in, he gets to do his thing, and sometimes that involves DA. But more often than not tonight, it was him shooting his own shots. Did you notice as soon as CP3 went out, they started feeding DA on the wing, feeding him opportunities.
all ball movement was gone, and it was try to get it into DA, who has done better in the last 5 to 10 games of getting open in the post and putting his big mid up there and saying, "Give me the ball here." He's been doing better with that, which was my biggest freaking thing about him.
I'm looking, Roy. Okay,
and how about when earlier in the game when DA was going against Giannis and he backs into Giannis and Giannis flops like a bitch and he just spin moves for a dunk and he's just this the whole time.
That was perfect. Yeah, perfect defense. I can't. The first quarter, he shut Giannis down. How do you say his name? Say it.
Giannis with a Y. Giannis, not Giannis. God.
He shut Giannis down.
Giannis.
All right.
And it was a new beautiful T-shirt idea. Giannis.
YUH. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull this up. So,
shit.
Roy shared this with me. Was it Roy? Twitter. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I won't go big.
Oh, I just listened to that. He's just talking about he doesn't take for granted all this stuff and nothing about the game.
Let's listen to the point goat talk for just a second.
He did move above Irvin Magic.
13 assists tonight, number 5 all time. I know you can't reflect completely on the career yet, but just what does it mean to be amongst the company that you are?
You know what? It's a blessing, man. I don't take this stuff for granted. I give a huge shout out to my team. You know, all the people that make my world go round. Seriously. 16 years, a lot of people don't get a chance to say that. Magic Johnson is the GOAT, you know, when you talk about playing the point guard position. So I'm honored and privileged, but shit, I ain't done yet.
Wow.
I ain't done yet.
Wow. My man. Yeah. And more importantly, we like the look of wearing Suns purple and orange. So congratulations. Hard-fought win. Enjoy that trip to Philly, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right.
You know he's getting fined for that, right?
Whatever.
He won't care. He's got the money for it, but yeah.
This NBA stuff is stupid. Scores. We've got some big – we usually like to do this at the end, but it's about that time where we want to get into it. I just saw that the Grizzlies and Nuggets are tied and going into overtime. 116-116. The Jazz are up 14 on the Lakers. The Warriors beat the Sixers. Who do you want
to win, Jazz or Lakers?
I don't know. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. I don't know. You know,
that's not what I asked. You gotta pick. I
would prefer to get the number one. I'd prefer to get the number 1 seed. That's been my stance on this whole thing. So I prefer the Jazz to lose, but they're not gonna.
Yeah, I was confused by them sitting people out the other night. I didn't understand that at all. But were they maybe trying to stay healthy for going up against the Lakers? I don't know.
They played the Lakers back to back.
Yeah. They didn't sit their good players versus the Lakers first game though, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's the one that they sat everybody and they won.
Wow. So yeah, they're gonna get this dub. No question.
In theory, they should. In theory, they definitely should.
Definitely want the Grizzlies to win this game.
Yeah. And then it keeps kind of pace for the Lakers. You know, we can't have the Nuggets doing too much better or the Blazers for that matter. Sorry, Blazers fans. I love y'all's fans. So one thing I need to point out with the schedule coming up, man. What is the one thing that I've said all season about this team? The one consistent thing I've said about this Suns team all season.
That the Suns are going to play their best games of the season, the last 10 to 15 games.
15 games left. 15 games left.
So I take it tonight counts as one of those because it sure as hell felt like one of our best games. I mean,
it has to. Is this the biggest win of the year? Or would you say the Jazz win is the biggest? This is definitely the bigger Milwaukee win of the two.
Yeah. The reason why this game is big is because it felt like a football game where the other team was up at halftime and there was a kickoff return, but somehow you got a fumble recovery, you got something to go right, back to back to back, and when the clock ran out, you just happened to be up because of a safety or something. This was one of those gritty.
It was a field goal
win.
At the end. It was a field goal at the end.
It was a walk-off.
It was missed, but somebody hit the kicker, so they moved it 5 yards in.
But this really felt like a playoff game. I don't mean that figuratively. I mean literally. Everything about this game felt like a playoff game. So this was versus a top-tier playoff team, and we won. Those are the games that you have to steal, because what do they say in the playoffs? A series doesn't even get interesting until someone loses at home. That's like going into Milwaukee and stealing one of the games in a 7-game series against Milwaukee in the finals. That's what we did tonight. I mean, honestly, like they were playing like it was a game 7 all night for some reason. We still hung in there.
And if I've already seen it a few times on the timeline, if anybody says, "Oh, they only won because Giannis was out," okay, why aren't y'all saying that when the Heat beat the Bucks last year when Giannis was out for 2 whole games? Like, suck it, man. You can make up any excuse you want, because at the end of the day, the Suns beat the Bucks twice, both times by 1 point.
At some point, that's got to start to count for something, bro. I mean, beating these teams and having a tiebreaker on them and beating them multiple times, beating the Jazz 2 times out of 2 games. What does that mean?
Beating the defending 2-time MVP, who was having his way until DA stepped up in the fourth quarter.
Like he had his way against everyone but DA.
But he had 33 points before the fourth quarter.
On like 80 shots. It felt like he took a lot of shots, man.
12 for 22.
Yeah.
And only 1 3-pointer.
All his buckets are at the rim, man. It's just everything.
He had a lot of Mikal Bridges stuff in the lane, were little fadeaway floaters. And I was like, when the hell did he do that? Shot 9 for 10 from free throw. They were hacking him too, bro. They were like, "You're not gonna get that. We're gonna hack you, earn it at the line," and he did. I would agree. Jazz game is bigger just because of the playoff implications, and we're going to meet them in the Western Conference. I would say for that reason. But for some reason, this one feels bigger because it's against the sexier stars, right? I mean, this game had everything, bro, and Mikal Bridges ended up being the X factor. All the stars showed out and had 20+. Look, CP, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis. Everybody had over 20. DA. And here comes Bridges with 21.
I'll put it this way, man. When Middleton hit that deep 3 to tie it up at 127, I thought to myself, this is just a good-ass game. Like, if we lose, I'll just go on the podcast tonight and say, that was a fun game to watch. It was frustrating, but it was fun. And these guys were just out there playing amazing basketball. That shot by Middleton, that shot by Book, CP3 with the up and under and the one-handed floater, Mikal with the corner 3, Crowder with everything was working at the end of the game for both teams. It was just beautiful and fun. And the fact that we get to come out of it waving a W, we needed that. We needed that after that loss versus the Spurs, man. That shit was therapeutic.
Well, what 100%. I say, if we beat the Bucks, we're going to come back on this podcast and we're going to have a completely different feel than when we lost to the Spurs. So can we officially say that the Spurs game was definitely a one-off?
Absolutely.
Do you guys feel that way in the chat?
Proven.
Everybody was so pissed off and nobody wanted to believe me. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. And this just proves it. So I'm curious to see the chat. What'd you guys think? Was the Spurs game a one-off? But question for you, just as a fan, even as a Bears fan, Nebraska fan, just whatever. When your teams win, do you feel more like a relief than like a positive, uplifting experience? Because that's what it feels like to me. Like when we win, it's more of a relief than anything. And I think it's my mentality of I hate to lose more than I love winning.
Yeah, I think I agree. It feels more of a relief. Because then you have to go out and do it again like in a couple of days. It's not like football where you can really like have a whole week to wear your football gear and be happy for a week that your team played well. Like you got to go out and do it a lot of times the very next night.
Exactly.
So
and
it's more of just a relief for me.
And Gary, I said it before you came on the podcast, and I didn't get ripped to shreds, but everybody was still pissed off. So when you came on and said it, maybe having a different voice, people were like, "Oh yeah, that's true." I don't know, but
Yo, Romp's in the house.
Are we gonna have you on for the Sixers game, or are you going over to Geeks, Romp? Because you ghosted us last time, bro. Ghosted.
Romp, he's hurt, Romp. Personally,
ghosted.
I understand, man. You got things to do. Coach, on the other hand, taking.
I wasn't on the first time he showed up, and so I was excited to have him on now. And then he ghosted us, so I'm a little hurt, Romp. I really feel like you owe us a pod.
That is if this is the real Romp. You know?
Oh, Jesus. If this is the real Romp, I know you're going to go on with Geek after the Philly game. So we got the Boston game, but the Brooklyn game on Sunday, that's an opportunity, or New York the Monday afterwards. These are all Eastern Standard Times. So we'd love to have you on, Romp.
Talk to me about this Philly game, man.
I expect it to be... Do you expect anything different than what we saw tonight? I expect a carbon copy of what we just witnessed. I think we're better. We're a better team. Embiid's a tough motherfucker, though.
Embiid is playing his best basketball right now.
We need to.
And they put up a stat tonight. I don't know if you caught it. I think they're previewing our next game, where they were showing the stats for Embiid versus Ayton on the season.
It's the real Romp, by the way. Confirmation.
Perfect.
Good.
So they put up a stat, Embiid versus Ayton, and Embiid is averaging 30 points and 11 rebounds. Ayton is averaging 15 and 10.8. So literally half the points, same production on rebounds. Half the points of Embiid. You combine that with the fact that Embiid is playing lights out basketball right now, and the fact that he takes it personal that people ever compared Ayton to him. And he seems like he really likes to give it to Ayton and show out and throw his body up against him and show people how much taller he is. If he shuts Ayton down, which is a possibility, that could bode really bad for us. But if Ayton bows up like I think he will, man, it's a really important game. I think the only thing I'll be watching is Ayton versus Embiid.
Man, Booker's going to come out against Kendall's ex. Booker's about to drop 42. He always does good against Ben Simmons, too. He always does good. Seth Curry had a night tonight. Danny Green could get us. The X factor, to me, is Tobias Harris. That dude can score, and he did not do that well against us the last game. But I expect a carbon copy of what happened tonight. A close-ass game. I don't expect to get blown out. I don't expect to blow them out. I could see it going into overtime. I could see us losing on a shot at the end of the
or winning on a shot at the end.
Winning. I was going to say that too. Or winning. I could see any of those things happening. But man, I just want to know if DA's shoulder is going to be okay. And I saw it earlier. I was going to bring it up and I forgot about it. Somebody said Ayton's shoulder hasn't been right since Johnson, that douchebag from Dallas, when he hurt him in that game, did the cheap shot, who then got traded to New Orleans, or I forget who he got traded to. Hasn't been right since then, and he's grabbed at it 4 or 5 times since that. Again, was it not Josh Jackson. That's not right. Josh Johnson. Maybe that's his name. I forget.
Yeah.
The ex-UFC wrestler guy.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been right since. So I hope it's just a stinger. I've had those. Those things suck. And they can linger through the next day. So we'll see.
Man.
We'll see how he does. Suns fans, if you remember watching Stephon Marbury in the Spurs contest playoffs, the one where he had the runner to win the game in overtime, he ended up getting a stinger. He airballed 2 consecutive free throws. We ended up losing that game and go down 2-1 to the Spurs, and he's not right the next game. And then the Spurs blow us out 4-1, all because of a damn stinger. So they're legit, man. I hope he plays. If he doesn't play, man, we have no depth to do anything to stop Embiid.
Yeah, that's where Burner's going. He says if DA is injured, who would replace him? I tell you this, Burner, if that happens, if we find out tomorrow, like, oh, guess what? You know, DA's out for a couple of weeks. They're going to rest him or whatever. I think we need to do an emergency podcast and do just a small video talking about all the ramifications that's going to have, because that is a ripple effect that could it's a whole – we could talk about what that would be like all night, man. I mean, I'll preview it for you. Frank Kaminsky starts at center. All right? So then we'd have a whole bunch of sticks talk. So we can talk about that if it happens. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to speak that into existence, though. Talk about him being injured, because we cannot afford DA to miss really anything at all. We need him on the court more than he is. Any less is not going to be good against this 7. Now, if we just want to pack it up and not have a fruitful 7-game trip and say, hey, we'll just treat this like, hey, it is tough. It is what it is. We're resting our guys, kind of rope-a-dope them on our way into the playoffs. That's something that's doable.
Who knows? If Ayton doesn't play, I would just be like, all right, Chris, Devin, y'all can rest too. Because I don't think we have a chance without him in defending Embiid. Because this might as well be a rest game. We have to play Boston the very next night, back-to-back. If DA ain't healthy or you question it, just rest everybody at that point. That's my honest take.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, man.
That sucks to say that.
And that's why we were so adamant that the Suns pick up some depth, even Gorgie Jang. Even Gorgie Jang.
Man, I didn't want Andre Drummond because I thought he'd be a detriment, but now, wow, wouldn't you love to have that now?
Absolutely.
We didn't even talk about LaMarcus Aldridge retiring. How about that all of a sudden, huh?
Crazy. We would have been so salty if he came to the Suns, got us all hyped, and then had to dip out. we would have been so salty, bro. That would have sent Salty into an early grave.
Kiz just brought up a good point on Twitter. It's like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that Drew fell down and Book had him on skates on that last play. Y'all are going to bring up the touch foul.
Dropped him hard.
He did.
Okay, have you found that clip yet?
Which one? For the shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
you got the still shot of it, but man, well,
I'm just gonna retweet this with you. It's easier right now.
Okay. What's your prediction for Philadelphia? Officially.
Man, I'm just gonna call it a win by 3.
Win by 3. Chat, what do you guys got? What do you guys think?
We're gonna be up by 1 with 18 seconds left. We're gonna get a defensive stop, and then we're gonna go and get 3 points with like 2 seconds, or get 2 free throws with like 2 seconds left after they miss the shot and we get the board. They'll foul us. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I feel like it's gonna come down to a final shot. It's gonna come down to Booker playing hero ball at the end of the game again.
Ugh.
I just see it, man. Don't you? It's so clear.
It's gonna be so close. I mean, this shit with the refs goes down like this. Who the hell knows what's gonna happen if they're gonna be given timeouts when you don't have possession of the ball? Suns beat Philly 111-107. I like it. What was it? It was 120 to 111 last time. I do think we are just the better team. Flat out, roll the ball out. Don't got to worry about officials. I think we are the better
we
team.
hoop
They
them.
have the best player in Embiid. I think we have the better all-around team. And it was nice to see Cam Johnson tonight too, yo. It's hard to shoot with that damn mask, and he came out firing and scored double digits too.
Burner. Sticks. 81 points, 33 rebounds, 18 assists, and 10 steals. That's all doable for Sticks.
Especially in my 2K.
I was going to say on 2K. You could definitely get that. But yeah, man, I'm going to say a win versus Philly. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's a NBA TV game. It's going to be on real TV. They always play better. Just watch. When you guys notice the swag that the team plays with tomorrow, remember that Gabe Von Carter said it's because they're on TV, and these guys, for whatever reason, really show up, and they care when they're on TV.
And don't be surprised if we do win this game, even if we lose and it's close, that we throw up a stinker in Boston. Don't be surprised if that happens. I hope it doesn't, because I think we're way better than Boston as well. But just don't be surprised, right?
I feel like...
Is that possible?
Very. I just feel like there's a 50-50 shot that Ayton gets sat one of these games, man, with that shoulder.
If you're going to do it, then you got to rest him against Embiid and don't let him take that contact. It has to be that game. It has to. And if that's the case, you rest everybody and you play for Boston. And that's not okay, but at this point in the season, that's the hand you dealt with, and that's the correct way to go about it. And then we just do what you always say. We got all these other dudes. We got Langston Galloway that can come in and rocket fire. You never know what can happen, man. And if they rested dudes that night, maybe they'll rest dudes again.
Annie says, can we revisit this game by Dario versus Embiid? I don't know how Dario plays Embiid well, because nothing about their matchup would suggest that Dario should be able to stop him. But he knows because he played with him. Yeah, so he knows some things, but still,
you know how important that is, though. You played with a dude for 1, 2, or 3 years. You got to know all of his tendencies. You know, there was this one dude always lit me up at the gym, man. I'm 6'1". This guy's 6'3", maybe pushing 6'4". But, you know, a stockier dude, but I'm so long. I have the wingspan of a 6'5" dude that I was always able to give him a little trouble, but he was always schooling me. There was a couple times towards the end before I moved away where he couldn't do anything to me. And he was the better player, but I knew his tendencies. I knew exactly what he was going to do. I knew he was going to do this stupid up and under move that I blocked. I knew he was going to do a step back, and I played towards his shooting hand. You know, it's so critical to know those things. And that's the difference in the NBA, is knowing a player's tendencies and being able to guard it correctly. That's the difference, man.
Mega Khalid says, this new Embiid is different. I agree, man. He is scary right now. I think he's the scariest thing in the NBA right now.
And Roy said, first off, take it one game at a time. That's all you can do. So it really depends on if he's ready to go. But then I was going to bring that up, which is worse, Warriors or Mavs. I personally think that the Warriors or the Mavericks are worse just because of the Luka foul situation and the refs. And that's why I think we're the better team. And I don't really care if Steph is going to go off for 53, because I don't trust anybody else on that team to do anything except for maybe Wiggins, 1 out of 4 games dropping 22. But the Mavericks and Luka and the referees are what scare me.
We beat both of those teams in a 7-game series, but I am a little bit more afraid of the Mavs because they seem like a more well-finished, rounded team. It's just Steph. You put McHale on Steph, you put Crowder on Steph, you put Cam on Steph.
Dude, Gabe Von Carter
Torrey Craig, you put Gabe Vaughn on him.
Yeah, dude.
You know, hell, you could even put Javon on him. Maybe he could do something. You put Gabe Vaughn on him, and it's clamps.
Exactly.
It's Clamp City.
I don't know about Clamp City, but I like our odds. And Wiseman is out. He was not the player that I thought he was. You could tell he just hasn't played in a long time. That was a bummer. I was high on that, man.
But yeah, man, we'll be back on Wednesday. You got anything else, Coach? I mean, great podcast. We love you guys.
I said it after the Jazz game, and then we lost in disappointing fashion to the Clippers, and we had a different podcast the next night, but I'm going to say it again. Suns fans, talk your shit. Talk your shit for the next day or two. Talk your shit. What are we at? 41 wins?
Yeah.
41 and
16,
41 and 16. And they tried to give that game to the Bucks by giving them a timeout. They tried everything they could. You know damn well that ref is getting fired at the end of the season for calling a foul on PJ Tucker to Devin Booker. You know they're firing that ref. They ain't supposed to do that. They tried to give that game to Cream City. But the Valley stepped in. And we got that W, so talk your shit.
Where can they find you, Coach?
At Coach Evan B on Twitter. Real quick, update. Double overtime, Grizzlies and Nugs. Grizzlies are up by 1 right now with 2.5 to go. The Jazz are up by 20 on the Lakers at the end of the third. So you can pretty much kiss that one goodbye, but stick close to that Grizzlies and Nuggets that has serious playoff implications for the Suns.
Big time, bro. So you guys can follow him at Coach Evan B. Follow me at Gabe Von Carter. At Suns Valley Pod is the handle for the podcast itself. What can I say, guys?
Salty. Do Salty. We miss you, my guy.
Follow
Cheers
Salty.
again.
Give him a shout out at Saltiest AZ fan. But what can we say, guys? Tonight the cream really did rise to the top, and it wasn't Cream City. Suns win.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Talk your shit, Suns fans. Talk your shit.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
22.5. Book on the crossover. Gets inside and hammers it down.